Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows? What secrets the night hides? What strange phenomena might be happening just beyond your perception? Join us as we journey into the world of the paranormal, exploring everything from ghosts and UFOs to cryptids and unexplained occurrences. From haunted houses to all things paranormal, join us in the search for the truth behind the veil. Welcome to Paranormal 411.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. We got a exciting show tonight.
Exciting.
Yes, we're going to talk a little UFOs or UAPs, whatever your acronym is, right?
Egg-shaped ones.
Egg-shaped ones. So, you know, we are going to get to Jake Barber and what he just came out with, but we're also wanting to talk a little bit about, you know, the Tic Tac incident, and also bring up some other stuff because, you know, the Lonnie Zamora that happened also was an egg-shaped craft.
Yes.
So we're wanting to bring up a few of these things just to kind of tie it all together a little bit. Because my first thing was egg-shaped craft. This is weird. I don't remember an egg-shaped. And then I started thinking, and I'm like, well, the Tic Tac incident, Tic Tac, depending on how you looked at it, it could be that shape, right? It was white, no propulsion that they could see of or anything like that. And then you start looking, and then the Zamora incident. He talks about this thing, and it was an egg-shaped craft. Mm-hmm. So, you know, as you start looking into these, this isn't such out of the realm of normal. You know, when people see it, they think this when they think UFO. You know, they see this big craft here, and they're like, that's a UFO. Well, that is. But there's other crafts too, because, you know, as we know, there's cigar-shaped ones and delta-shaped ones and triangular-shaped ones. And so there's tons of these things.
And egg-shaped ones.
And now egg-shaped ones.
Why would they shape it in an egg?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe it helps when it goes into the water.
Yeah, maybe it's some kind of aerodynamic.
Right. Well, for me, though, what's weird is that they're only like 20 feet long.
Yeah.
So about the size of a car, maybe, because most cars are about that, maybe less than 20 foot.
4 doors are about 20 feet.
Right.
The older ones.
So maybe this is what
a Cessna
comes out of a bigger one to where they could go roving about. You know, this is they could park easier with this one.
Yeah, we've got the 747, 757. Right. Why can't they have Cessnas?
Hello, Barbara. Yeah, right.
Coming out of the mudda ship.
That's right. Mudda. So, you know, in recent years, the topic of unidentified aerial phenomena or UAPs. Now, this has gained pretty significant attention. It has sparked debates and raised questions about government transparency. There's several key events and testimonies that have brought this issue to the forefront, now highlighting the urgent need for disclosure. Among these events are unidentified anomalous phenomena, exposing the truth hearing that happened, the Tic Tac incident, and the revelations of Jake Barber, a former U.S. Air Force veteran.
Yeah, he was actually just an airman.
Hello, Michelle.
In the Air Force, and they then asked him to do these other projects.
Right. So he was a mechanic.
Yeah, a mechanic.
And then he got into special operations, which is quite crazy. And then he actually did some presidential missions. And then he started doing these retrieval
when
missions.
He got out, he was contracted by the government for this.
Yeah, the government and the CIA. Yeah, he says it was government and the CIA. So the CIA is in on this stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
CIA. I wonder why.
CIA. Well, you gotta think, you know. Who's all up on those secrets, right?
So we're going to talk about the Tic Tac incident first, right?
Yes.
So one of the most famous UFO encounters involving U.S. military personnel occurred on November the 14th, 2004, off the coast of Southern California.
Southern Cali. Go get your.
So, yeah. It was during a training exercise, and it involved the USS Nimitz. It was a carrier strike group. Advanced radar on the USS Princeton detected multiple anomalous aerial vehicles descending rapidly from 80,000 feet to 20,000 feet. That's a long way.
Yeah. And they said it was happening in a second.
Yeah.
Faster than the radar could sweep around.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure y'all heard of Commander David Fravor.
Yes.
He was a lieutenant commander. Alex Dietrich, they were among the pilots who were diverted to investigate the contacts. So as they approached the area, Fravor spotted a small white oval-shaped object hovering above the ocean, which he described as resembling a Tic Tac candy, which sort of looks like an egg.
Yeah. It's kind of oblong shape. So, I mean, if you're looking at it just right, it could look like that, especially they weren't right up on it. So,
yeah, the object appeared to be about 40 feet long and had no wings, no exhaust plumes, no markings. And as Fravor maneuvered his FA-18 fighter jet closer to the object, mirrored his movements, ascending and descending in a way that defied conventional aircraft capabilities. So at one point, the object accelerated very rapidly and disappeared from the sight in less than a minute.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah. So, you want me to play the video of it, or you want to go ahead and?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play the video for people, because again, what we're doing is just showing how this shape of craft is not something new.
Right. So let me get it going here.
Here it comes in.
Yep.
Nickel 6-1 Tango, small Jake Barber.
Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Roger, there's troubleshooting as soon as I get.
Did you box moving target?
No, I took an auto track.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Wow.
So did you notice how they were so excited?
Yeah.
And it does look like an egg, sort of, in the video.
And what's funny to me is that, you know, a lot of people were, when this first came out and stuff, oh, that's a balloon. That's a balloon. And, you know, Fravor was saying, no, there was like 180 nautical mile an hour winds or something going on up there where they were at. Like, there's no way there's a balloon. And at times this thing was sitting dead still in that, in those winds like that. Like, there's no balloon on this planet that's going to sit still in winds like that.
No,
it's not going to happen.
So the incident, witnessed by 4 people, including 2 pilots and their weapon system officers, left a lasting impression on the pilots and raised questions about the nature of these UAPs. Despite the lack of immediate investigation and oversight at the time, the event gained significant attention in later years, and it led to the testimonies before Congress. and the release of classified or declassified videos by the Pentagon in 2020.
You're right, Barbara. A balloon could not do that.
No.
No way. Now, do you want to talk about Zamora?
We can. What
So
do you think?
Yeah, so then that way we give a little background on people who don't know about Zamora, and then we can show their thank you, Barbara. For sharing and liking. We could talk about it for a minute, and then we could also show the picture of what he said he saw.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same thing. It's an egg shaped or tic-tac shape or whatever shape you want to call it, but
Yeah.
craft.
It's an artist impression. We'll show it in a few minutes after the story. You may go ahead and
Yeah.
so
I mean, we don't have to tell the whole thing, just
yeah. Well, this happened on April the 24th, 1964. Socorro police radio dispatcher Ned Lopez received a radio call from Sergeant Lonnie Zamora reporting a possible motor vehicle accident. So Zamora advised Lopez that he would be checking the car down in the Arroyo. Shortly after, Lopez received another radio call from Zamora asking Lopez to look out the window to see if he could see any object. So when Lopez asked Zamora to describe it, Zamora said it looks like a balloon and requested New Mexico State Police Sergeant Chavez meet him at the location. Then Chavez arrived. He asked Zamora what the trouble was, and Zamora led him to examine some burning brush. When other police officers arrived, they noted patches of smoldering grass and brush. So he told the authorities that he was pursuing a speeding car south of Socorro, New Mexico, when he heard a roar and saw a flame in the sky, possibly at about a half a mile away. Believing a local dynamite shack
geez.
may have exploded.
Yeah. That's crazy. Cool.
He claimed to have observed Zamora said he discontinued the pursuit and to investigate the explosion. So he also claimed to have observed a tiny object to the south about 200 yards that he initially believed to be whitish against to be an overturned car.
Right.
So basically, the object was like aluminum. It was whitish against the mesa background, but not chrome, and shaped like the letter O. Zamora claimed to have briefly observed two people in white coveralls beside the object.
Well, John,
We kind of wrecked this one.
You're supposed to come in where no one sees.
And he said they were normal shaped people, or things, but possibly they were small adults or large kids.
Huh.
He claimed to hear a roar and see a blue and orange flame under the object, which then rose and quickly moved away.
Well,
So
let's show this object.
that's the Zamora story. See if I can show you the picture that the artist drew.
I think if you select it, it shows you a little thing right there before.
Yep, that's it.
There you go. Kind of tic-tac or egg shaped.
Yeah, it's a long egg.
Yeah.
That's what a tic-tac is.
Right.
What do you
Cool.
What do you think about that, David?
Again, you have the tic-tac incident. You have this. There's several other incidences that actually happened also. And I have some of them here, but in 1946 in Sweden, There was an egg-shaped UFO that was seen.
Mm.
In the 1950s, in the Black Sea, there was also another egg-shaped one that was seen.
Hmm.
I remember seeing one there's a depiction somewhere in ancient Japan where, again, there was this egg-shaped craft that landed that they drew pictures of and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
this is not something that is new as far as, the shape of this craft.
Right. And I don't think ancient Japan would rectify it being other
Yeah.
countries.
Right. Yeah. Because this was like feudal Japan.
Yeah.
So,
Samurai Japan.
yeah. So there wasn't anything really in the skies at that time. So maybe kites.
Or
UFOs.
little eggs.
Yeah. Eggs running around everywhere. Wonder if they're dinosaurs. That's why
Oh,
you choose eggs, right?
dinosaur eggs.
So unidentified anomalous phenomena exposing the truth happened on November 13th, 2024. Now, the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability held a historic hearing, and it was titled exactly what I just said, right? Unidentified anomalous phenomena exposing the truth. Now, they aimed at shedding light on the decades of secrecy surrounding UAPs. They featured testimonies from whistleblowers, including Lou Elizondo, David Grush, and a few others. Now, Lou Elizondo said, "Let me be clear, UAPs are real." As the former head of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP, Elizondo detailed how advanced technologies, not of human origin, had been observed monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. Now, he emphasized the need for all of government approach to address the UAP issue, involving agencies like the White House, CIA, NASA, and the Pentagon. Now, what does that tell you? This is a guy that's supposedly in the know, that supposedly had a job that was doing this stuff, and
They
here they
can't
are.
find no record of him ever being in the military.
Yeah, he had to actually sue them over some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, these people are in the military,
Yeah.
and they're coming out with
But
this.
He was in the Pentagon too when it was all over.
Yeah, I mean,
so
why would we not believe them?
right.
Why would these military people be making this up?
Right. It doesn't make sense unless there's something
Out there on the wing.
it's on the wing.
Yeah.
Something. It's on the wing. So David Grush also revealed shocking information about the UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, which we'll be talking about here in just a little bit, right? With the new whistleblower. He spoke of biologics recovered from these craft and the threats faced by those who dared to speak out. Now, Grush's testimony underscored the gravity of the situation and the lengths to which the government had gone to keep these programs hidden from public scrutiny, as far as even killing people.
Mm.
And that was something that they talked about that was pretty interesting. Now, the whistleblower's courage in coming forward highlighted the urgent need for transparency and accountability. Their stories painted a vivid picture of government shrouded in secrecy, operating in the shadows to conceal the truth about UAPs. They called for immediate action to declassify records, establish civilian reporting mechanisms, and to ensure that the public is informed about these extraordinary phenomena. Now, they also talked about the fact that all these black projects and stuff like that are being funded illegally, because all that stuff's supposed to go through Congress and it's not. There's no oversight on this stuff. That's why this was brought to the Oversight Committee, because these are the people that are supposed to be overseeing things like this. And so, you know, when it comes down to it, I hate to put a number to it. Trillions of dollars a year are going to whatever. And the reason I say I hate to put a number to it is because they have not one time passed when someone has gone in there and done an audit.
Right.
They've never passed an audit. They don't even care if they pass an audit. Because what are they going to do? I would shut their budget off.
It may happen.
I'd go turn that faucet off, turn that spigot to 0 and say, now let's talk.
Yeah.
Because for me, you know, when I was listening to those, you get some, like you said, Jason, some credible people coming up and talking about this stuff and what their part of it was, right? No one now, like Jake Barber that we're about to talk about, none of these people have had firsthand experiences. I mean, you know, Fravor had pretty much kind of, but nothing like what Barber's had, because he was actually part of the crash retrieval program.
Right.
So his job was to go and retrieve these things. He was a helicopter pilot, and then take them to where this other team was going to come and extract it and take it to wherever it was going.
Mm-hmm.
And so he never knew where it was going. It's this whole need to know thing, right? So he only knew that he had to go here, pick it up, take it here, drop it off. That was it.
Right.
So, you know, that goes back to this whole secrecy thing again. Jason?
So Barb,
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
what's up, Jeff? So Barber's military service and revelations began in the late 90s.
Right.
He served as an aerospace mechanic in the U.S. Air Force. His dedication and skill led to his recruitment into the Air Force Special Operations. And that's where he attained a NATO top secret security clearance. His role included helicopter pilot, free fall parachutist, and expert marksman, and he participated in several presidential support missions.
Right.
So his most significant revelation comes from his work in a secret UFO retrieval program.
Yeah, this is what he came out on with News Nation and Ross Coulthart. Yeah.
So during an exclusive interview with News Nation, Ross Coulthart, Barber recounted his experience recovering downed craft that he believed are of non-human origin.
Yes.
Among the objects he encountered, 2 distinct craft stood out. An egg-shaped craft. He described this object as a white egg-like structure that was visually extraordinary and anomalous. The reaction of his team indicated that they all knew they were dealing with something extraordinary.
Right.
Crafts, it was seamless, had no seams or rivets. It emphasized its, it just looked otherworldly.
Yeah. I can understand it.
So, another craft Barber retrieved was a white metallic object unlike anything he had ever seen before. His team's response suggested that they all recognized the non-human nature, the craft's ability to maneuver with agility and speed, defying the laws of physics. It left a lasting impression on Barber and his team. So we're going to play his interview with
Ross
Coulthart here in a minute, but I'll go ahead and tell you about it. One of Barber's most intense experiences involved an encounter where he felt an overwhelming mix of emotions, including sadness, happiness, and a sense of beauty. So he described the sensation as if something had connected with his soul, providing guidance and emphasizing the significance of his task. He felt that he was possessed by what he described as the most beautiful spirit. That's wild, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
He characterized it as feminine, loving, but it had a sad energy. And according to him, it left him, a good impact on his life. And he believes the force he connected with continues to guide him and protect him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play a couple of videos from that interview.
Yes.
If you want to watch them.
Yeah, they're pretty neat because when he describes what Jason just read,
it's touching to me.
He almost starts crying.
He does.
I mean, hello, Ashley. He almost starts crying. So it's neat to hear it in his own words. We can sit here and say whatever all night, but it's not the same as hearing him say it.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the one of the actual video of him recovering
the egg-shaped
craft.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
NewsNation has independently obtained previously unseen video obtained from a secret UAP craft retrieval program. This extraordinary footage clearly shows an egg-shaped object dangling in a sling below the belly of a helicopter.
It kind of rolls even.
Yeah.
Let's slow this down to take a closer look. That's an egg-shaped UAP suspended from a 150-foot long line. We're told the craft is about 20 feet long. The egg suspended in a cradle. And look how careful the pilot is as they bring their precious cargo into land.
What's an egg?
Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken. This is no blurry light in a distant sky. The source of the footage putting themselves at incredible risk to record this UAP retrieval. Look at how perfectly smooth the craft is. No markings at all, and no visible means of propulsion or way to see inside. Watch how it rolls, almost graceful as it hits the ground, despite being wrapped in the ropes and canvas from the cradle as it's dropped for pickup. The UAP's final destination still unknown.
Probably going to Groom Lake. That's my guess.
You think so?
Yeah.
What didn't he talk about when he first started in the program? They took him, that military guy took him to somewhere, and then they retrieved it, and it went to a lake bed in there. And am I talking about the right one?
No, you're talking about the other guy that we watched the video on.
Oh,
when he shot his rocket off.
Oh yeah. Okay, the 13-year-old rocket scientist.
Yes.
Confusing. Never mind.
Very interesting stories that is on its own.
So this next video is Barber himself talking, and see if we can share it for you.
So there was another object. There's two objects that I'm here to talk about. One was the egg. The other is what we called an 8-gon. The 8-gon was essentially a flying disc with what looked like 8 delineated sections when looking down. And I can tell you what it looked like from looking down, because that's primarily how I saw it, because I'm a helicopter pilot. We did recoveries with the 8-gons. There was more than one that made its way to the ground on this particular operation.
Simply seeing a non-human craft up close would be an intense experience in itself. But Barber says as he prepared to transport that so-called 8-gon from the pickup site to the drop site, something even more intense happened to him that would change his life forever.
This is one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my life I'm about to share with you, so bear with me. So as I get closer to this pick site, I start feeling odd. I start feeling extremely emotional. And the closer I get, the more the emotion starts to overwhelm me. I feel this intense hybrid of sadness and happiness and beauty, and song. And it was very disruptive to me because I had a very practical responsibility at the time to operate a helicopter in the mountains at night. And I began wondering what was wrong with me. It was late. I'm like, am I distressed? Am I tired? And I don't know. But as I came over this object for the pick, there was this overwhelming sense of emotion.
Is it your feeling? Are you suddenly having a mental breakdown on the job?
No, I felt like something connected with me. I felt like something had tuned in to me and my soul and was providing me some sense of guidance on what to do and how profound what I was doing was. And it was so overwhelming that I began to cry. And then I'm confused as to why I'm crying at the same time. And then do I abort the mission? So I just did my best to focus on my particular cues when doing this type of work. And I got the load hooked up and I began flying away. And once it was just me and that object in between the pick and the drop site, there's about 20 miles in between, I felt like something was inside of me. I felt like I was possessed by the most beautiful spirit I'd ever been possessed by. And
Was it loving?
it was loving. But there was a sense of sadness at the same time. And
Had you ever had an experience like this before?
No, it was a very feminine energy. I'll tell you that. It felt like the spirit of God, but not in any masculine sense. And it wasn't like a soul. It was like a frequency that I was connected with. And whatever that force was, since that night, it has stayed with me. And as crazy as this sounds, it's what's guiding me now, and it's what's providing protection for me.
It's changed your life.
It's changed my life.
His own words. Own words right there. So that's, like I said, we could talk about that and everything, but when you actually see his emotion when he says it, you're like, this is not fake.
Yeah, when he starts to break down.
Yeah. You're like, this is not fake. Or he needs to get a job as an actor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one or the other. But to me, it seems very, like Barbara says, very sincere, and so to me, it makes me go, that adds credibility.
It does. You can tell when a I can at least,
right,
by their body language and what they're doing, if they're really telling you the truth,
mm-hmm.
or if they're just talking off the top of their head.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at him and him talking, I mean, it about made me break down.
Right. It makes you feel the emotion that he was going through at that time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could tell he still feels it.
Like you said, if he is lying, he should be an actor.
Yeah. That'll be his next gig. Watch. He'll be doing action flicks on the movies. If it's not true, then that's what's going to happen. Jason and I wanted to kind of tie all these together a little bit, just to show that, again, most people don't understand all the different types of craps that are out there. I mean, I still don't think we probably even know.
No.
You know, there's crazy things out there that keeps getting so-called released, if they're getting released or whatever. And you know, some of them show some pretty amazing things. Like one of them looked like a pyramid inside of a circle.
Ooh, you know what that is, right? The Gual.
They're here.
Yes. The pyramid aircraft, the pyramid spaceships.
Yep.
That's where they go.
Yeah. No, it was kind of red, if I'm not mistaken, but
That must have been the shield around them.
yeah. It was interesting to see some of those.
Seriously, what if that TV show was real? I mean, what if they just done that for misinformation or something?
Just to get it out, so then they
Yeah.
knew at one point that was going to come in, and
That's pretty wild.
yeah.
The Gual.
Would you want to be like Tilk?
Tilk?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to have one in my stomach.
No babies in your stomach?
No.
Would you rather be a Gould?
I'd rather be Daniel Jackson.
Oh yeah. When he becomes a god?
No.
No.
Oh, you mean when he ascends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
He's an ascended master. And he keeps doing naughty things and coming back.
Well, he's trying to help, you know, the people. And when you're ascended, you cannot interfere with what's going on in the world or the universe.
But he did anyway.
But he did.
Yeah. Then they kick him out.
And they kicked him out, and he decided to come back to human form.
Yeah. You know, the great thing about this is that they're trying to get disclosure passed through or to go through. They're trying to get transparency in all of this, which would be a great thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's going to happen?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think it will. I mean,
you know,
we're going to be getting some information soon of some very prominent conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I can't wait for the JFK stuff to get released.
Yeah, I mean,
so even Martin Luther King stuff is going to get released. So I didn't even know they had stuff on Martin Luther King stuff. So that was a new one on me. You know, the testimonies of Louis Elizondo, David Grush, and Barber, along with the experiences of Fravor and Dietrich, they paint a compelling picture of the urgent need for transparency and disclosure regarding the UAPs. Now, the secrecy surrounding these phenomena has led to speculation, fear, and the lack of trust in our government and its institutions, which they deserve to have the lack of trust in.
Yeah.
You know, the unidentified anomalous phenomena exposing the truth hearing underscored the importance of declassifying records, establishing civilian reporting mechanisms, and ensuring that the public is informed about these extraordinary phenomenon. Now, the courage of these whistleblowers in coming forward highlights the fundamental right of individuals to know the truth about what is happening in our skies. As we move forward, it is crucial that we continue to demand transparency and hold our government accountable for its actions. Now, the pursuit of truth is a fundamental right, and the stories of these whistleblowers serve as a reminder of the importance of seeking understanding in a world filled with unknowns.
Mm.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah. I mean, Jake Barber's story, the Tic Tac incident, and the testimonies from the unidentified anomalous phenomena, exposing the truth, hearings have brought to light urgent need for transparency and disclosure regarding these UAPs. Whether you believe in the possibility of non-human intelligence or not, the sincerity and emotional impact of these experiences cannot be denied, like Barber's experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty emotional.
Yeah.
The stories of these whistleblowers continue, they captivate me, I know, and it makes me want to know more. And it leaves us to ponder the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. So as the conversation around UAPs evolves, it serves us a reminder of the importance of seeking the truth, the understanding in a world filled with the unknown. So keep asking questions.
Yes. Always ask
keep
questions.
Seeking the truth.
Yes.
It's just a great message right there.
Barber says, makes you wonder what they're afraid of or trying to hide. I think it's both, a little of both. I think they're afraid of us knowing the truth about how much they've lied to us, and they're hiding that truth because of it.
Right.
I mean, that's just, I do believe.
Yeah.
I mean, one way or another, I mean, it just shows that there's definitely other life out there. I mean, that everybody says that this is a one and done, and we're all that exists in this infinite universe, and all the trillions of planets just in our own Milky Way galaxy, or billions of planets that are just in our own galaxy. We're the only thing that exists. And I think it'll be a kick in the face to those people.
Yeah.
And they'll deserve it, because, we once thought that everything revolved around us too. There was a time where people thought that the earth was flat. I know for some reason that's become a big thing again. But I think,
oh, the flat earth.
Yeah.
I've been
Flat
watching a lot of stuff on that, and it's getting big again.
Yeah. It's like people are getting dumber, purposefully getting dumber. We know, we know. There's just no questions about it. I was watching something the other day, and he took a bunch of flat earthers to the South Pole, I think it was, where during a time in the summer, the sun just circles overhead. It never goes away.
Right.
And it may have been the Arctic Circle. I don't remember exactly where it was, but those people lost their ever-loving minds because the sun never went away.
Yeah, I think there's a time in Alaska or somewhere right in there that the sun don't go down. It doesn't go down for like 48 hours. It just continuously moves back and forth across.
It showed time lapse. It was actually doing this.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They had time lapse video of it. Yeah. It was amazing. And, but again, there was a time where we thought everything revolved around us. We sat in one spot, the sun, moon, stars, everything went around us. We thought we lived on a flat earth, right? We thought all these things, and then, you burn the people that say, no, I think we live on a round earth, and I think that the sun is the center and everything's revolving. And those are the people who get burnt at, at the stake and stuff. So, it just shows that for some reason we're still stuck in this thing where we think that we are the best, the only. It's just us. There will come a time where people realize they're wrong.
Right.
It'll happen. Whether it's in our lifetimes or our grandkids' lifetimes, it's going to happen. And, to look out into the infinite cosmos and to say that we're the only life here, I don't think so.
Right.
If it could come on this little dirty rock, it could come on a bunch of others. You know, and there's a lot of others that are a lot older than what our little speck of dust has been out there. And so, you know, the possibilities of other life and advanced, you know, extraterrestrial life is pretty great, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, I think that there's things in ancient texts and stuff that prove that we're not alone. That prove that, you know, either they were great at writing science fiction, you know, 6,000 years ago, or they were telling the truth. So,
Right.
my only little piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. I
What do you
would
think?
say that we're not the only people in this vast universe,
Right.
or there's many universes in space generally.
Right.
Um,
Well, then we're not even taking the multiverse into consideration or anything else,
yeah.
which, you know, some of these craft could definitely be coming from a multiverse or coming from another, you know, parallel universe or something, the way that they seem to come through these portals sometimes.
Yeah. They break through the bubble that we're in.
Yep.
Some people say we're in a bubble. The stars aren't really stars. The sun's not really a sun. We're just in a bubble being observed.
Mm.
So we're like captives.
So this is Horton. Here's a who.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It could be like a Men in Black where they open up the locker and there's a whole civilization inside there.
Yeah.
I think that there's shows on this, but I think that the more we learn, the more we're going to understand that truth is probably more strange than fiction.
It is.
Yeah.
Stranger than fiction.
Yeah. Because we find stuff all the time. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? But you know, I think like you were saying a little bit ago, these whistleblowers that come forward, they have great stories to tell. And Jake Barber is just another one of those stories.
If he's one to believe, I would believe him.
Right.
Because of the way he
Right.
acted with his emotions and stuff. I mean, it'd be hard not to believe somebody like that.
Right. Well, I mean, Barber was right when she said that he seems very sincere, you know. One thing that I don't get, if we're talking about this subject for just a few minutes more, one thing that I don't get is I understand how everybody says, oh, well, you know, you work for the government, right? You've been in the armed services, or you've been a police officer, you've been all this. You're very credible. But I guess regular people aren't credible.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I just don't fall down that rabbit hole. And where I'm going with that is that there's tons of people on this planet that have had experiences. Tons of them. They've made movies about a few of them.
Yeah.
Fire in the Sky. Right. The Travis Walton incident.
Did he get to, I know he was at one of those. Was he at any of those hearings?
Nope. It's only been military people. Yeah. So why don't you have these people? I'll tell you why. Because it adds another layer of complexity to this. Abduction, cattle mutilation, all these other things that happen that people want answers to. But at the same time, these people have pretty much been proven to be telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know,
this egg-shaped phenomena takes me back to a Skinwalker Ranch episode.
Oh, yeah?
Where they caught that it's an egg-shaped sphere thing in a field. And the only reason they caught it was from slow motion cameras. And it's definitely there. It's silver. but it's looks like an egg, and it's probably about 20 foot long.
Is that one of those ones that were going through the mesa?
No, this was something different. I forget what they were doing. They were it was over by where the mutilations and stuff were.
Okay. Well, going with that, at one point, during Jake Barber's interview with Ross Coulthart there, he was asked about the 5 observables, and he was talking about the transmedium, and that these things have been seen to go through like mountains and come out of mountains and disappear into mountains and stuff like that. So it's not only what we think of as them coming from, the outer atmosphere or space into our atmosphere and into water. These things can actually go through solid matter.
Yeah.
Now that, when he was talking about that was pretty interesting to me.
Well, and you see that in Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. And that's what made me bring it up, because I remember in Skinwalker Ranch, there's been times where they've seen that orb thing or whatever go through the mesa
and pop out the other side.
Yeah. And that's where they think that tunnel, remember they're looking for that tunnel,
yeah,
and
they're
all that
looking
stuff.
for a tunnel, or looking for, I forget what they were exactly looking for. Maybe not a tunnel, like a portal.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were digging. They were just
doing, well, remember they're doing those core drillings, trying to find the sides of it.
Yeah.
Or something. So they believe they're underground. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys ever looked into the Marine Kingdom?
Marine?
Heard of that? Not heard of that.
I don't know if I've looked into that. Mike, tell us a little bit about it. They thought they observed a portal. Yes. Looked into the Marine Kingdom. Now, if you're talking about, like, say, where we talked, what was it, a couple weeks or last week, we talked about mermaids. And we kind of tied a little bit of that into the USOs, the submerged objects, where these things go into the oceans and are seen a lot in the oceans, right? They're seen coming in and out of the oceans. They're seen around all of our naval ships and stuff. That's where the Tic Tac and gimbal videos and all these things were taken, was during, exercises and stuff. And we tied the legends of these mermaids to possibly, hey, who's to say that they don't have a dwelling under the water? He says mermaids are part of it. Okay. Yeah, we kind of talked about that last week, and we think that's a really big possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think these things, what if, and this is what if, right? This is speculation, but speculation is pretty fun sometimes. Like we said last week, what if these things are coming here? Water world is where they live, right? Their world is probably mostly oceans or whatever. And so they're coming in, and these things could have been living in our oceans for millennia, And so they go to the bottom. That's where they live. And maybe when they get out into the oceans and they swim, and that they're like mer people.
Yeah. This is their vacation spot.
Yeah, this is vacation Earth. Watch the crazy 2-legged people walking on land up there.
Right. I mean, that old picture, that cave picture shows the mermaids or the whatever they are swimming in the water. Then there's humans up above them.
Yep. And they all had like spear things or
like
something.
They were driving them back into the ocean.
Yeah. So, and what's really funny is that a lot of, I won't say all the stories, but a lot of the stories give for mermaids to be able to walk on land for so long every year or something like that. Or once in a of their lifetimes, or just whatever it is, they get to walk on land for a short period of time. So what if they don't get to come up and see what, the crazy humans are doing, and then go back and say, man, I got a story for you. I was at this place called Joe's Diner eating a cheeseburger and some crazy stuff happened. Don't go up there, man. Don't go up there. It's not for the faint of heart. Stay down here with the whales.
Yeah.
But I really think that is a very good possibility.
Yeah.
That mermaids tie into it, because when we did that show, I learned something new for sure when we were studying for the show, and that was that all the tales of mermaids in the United States from Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was just mind blowing. I expected it, from the Greeks and the Romans and all, all that stuff, all the mariner stories. I expected all that, but the Native American stories we got is really what got me going. This is interesting.
Right.
Very, very interesting.
I wonder if the Kraken's real.
I bet it is.
Maybe.
Because they've found the giant squid.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the ones that they found are only babies.
Have you ever noticed the pictures that they bring up of the deep?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things are very angelic looking. It's pretty wild. Like they're transparent and glow. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Michelle says they may be like Mormons and go out at a certain age to see the world. Now that would be something. That's a very good possibility. What do you think? I think it's possible. I ain't saying no.
No, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
So I think we had a pretty good show. Right?
Yes. Yes. This was a great show. I want to thank everybody for showing up and being with us. Our Saturday show is going to be great too.
That's
Definitely
right.
stick around because Mark. Thank you, Mark. But yep, I mean, to me, the UAP or UFO, all these acronyms for the same thing, but UFOs, I'm old enough to say UFO.
Right.
This UFO topic to me,
big old ships
is interesting. Them there light ships that go across the sky. I don't know. I think what makes it interesting is the fact that tons of people have seen these things. Tons of credible people, even the ones we talked about tonight on the show, talk about these things and talk about biologics that have been retrieved along with aircraft that have been retrieved. So when you have all these things put together, thank you, Barbara. To me, you have a picture that's starting to be formed.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you've got our government that has gone from not even wanting to hear about it, just pushing the whole subject off. News stations that used to laugh and play, weird music when they was talking about it are now taking the subject real.
Yeah.
They're actually like, this may be real. So they're taking the subject seriously. And so I think that's definitely a step in the right direction when it comes to, trying to get disclosure and transparency and all this other stuff.
I think we need to have, another hearing with common people.
That's what I want to see.
I'd like to see George Knapp, Bob Lazar.
That's another one, right? Bob Lazar.
David Adair.
This man has had his life tore apart. Bob Lazar.
Mm-hmm.
Tore apart. everybody and their mama didn't believe him.
Right.
I remember when that story came out. I believed him. And it's only here in the last 10 years or so that he started getting, element 115 actually came on the periodic table of elements.
But you don't hear him saying, I told you so, blah, blah, blah. But he keeps his story.
But you know what's funny? He did say that he was a young, dumb kid and he wished he would have kept his mouth closed because he was able to work with technology that he'll never get to touch again.
Yeah.
So, Bob Lazar, yeah. Why don't you have a Bob Lazar on there talking about his stuff? I'll tell you why, because then it'll also show the other side of this where the government goes after you. If they can't kill you, they'll erase you. They erased the man's whole life. They erased his birth certificate. He said his mom was crying because they erased his whole life, his schooling, everything. I mean, yes, I think you're right, Jason. Definitely Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
phone directory. Yep. That's right. And also proved something else, Mark. It proved that he was what he said he was because it says physicist. And there was tons of other physicists who says, oh, well, when you become a physicist, your name gets in this little black book of physicists around the world. And his name was never in this physicist book of around the world. So he was never a physicist. But I'm sorry. I mean, it said on that phone directory, physicist Bob Lazar. So you tell me. It's amazing.
It is.
It's amazing. Again, we wanted to thank everybody for showing up tonight and talking with us.
Thank you.
And texting and leaving your comments and
liking and sharing.
Please like and share more because we need it and we are very appreciative. So remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can tune in live every Tuesday and Thursday. Actually, I'm sorry, it is not Tuesday. It is Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. Also on Saturdays from 10 to 11, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you can catch us at WDJY-FM. That is 99.1 FM. For listeners outside of Atlanta, you can go to WDJYFM.com or you go to paranormal411.org and click the link on our website. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Hey, we've got an awesome book out right here.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful book. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It's available on Amazon or paranormal411.org. Join us. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this awesome show.
That's right. And we'll see you Saturday at 8.
Saturday at 8.
Bye.
Be there or be square.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters along with mouth-watering pizza go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality, What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.